Last video we made our foundation, databases, relations, the amusement park, workspace. Now what are we doing today, Fred?
We make it usable. Right now you've got data sitting in your databases. This video is about taking that and turning it into something that you and your team can actually work with on a daily basis.
Now in my sidebar I see all the databases that we've made, but then I switch from architect to user and I see nothing. Is this what my team sees? Nothing?
Exactly, because you haven't built anything for them yet. Architect mode is your view, the raw structure underneath. User mode is what your team sees, and right now that's nothing. You control what goes there. That's what we're doing in this video.
Okay, where do I start?
You start with views. A view is a way of looking at your data. Click new item, this is where all of them live. Let's start with table. Pick attractions as your database. Choose which fields to show, status, type, revenue, opening date. You don't need all of them. Then rearrange however you want. Now here's an important thing. This data isn't separate from your database. It's the same data, just with a different lens, more focused. If you change something here, it changes everywhere. There's only ever one version of the truth. You can think of table as inventory. Everything that exists, what sort of state it's in, all in one glance.
Table is fine, but I can't really see what's moving and what's stuck. It's all just rows.
That's what board view is for. Make a new view, pick board, choose tasks this time. Display by state, and now you've got cards you can drag between columns.
Well, this board only shows tasks. What if I want to show things from different databases?
You can totally do that. Let's say you build a board for a product team. You simply select multiple databases. Features, stories, and bugs are all visible in the same board displayed by state. And if you move a card from one state to another, it changes everywhere else. Table is inventory, board is flow.
Okay, but in the board now, everything is flat. I can't really tell which task is for which attraction.
Go back to your task board and group by attraction to separate them. And in the attractions table from earlier, a similar hierarchy is possible by adding tasks as a second level. And it goes further. Remember self-relations from last video?
Connect tasks to itself, a self-relation. One task becomes the parent, others becomes its subtasks, all living in the same database.
Group tasks by their parent to show subtasks in the second level, or third, or fourth, or you get the point. Tasks now have their subtasks nested. One database, infinite levels, all in one view. Metro, do you actually know when any of this is happening? Like, when does construction on loop 8 finish?
Nope, no idea.
That's what Gantt is for. Make a new view, pick Gantt, choose tasks. Set your start date as start date and due date as end date. Now you see the full picture, everything on a timeline, when things are happening.
Okay, but some of my tasks gotta be finished until the other one starts. Like, I can't open an attraction until the construction is done on it. You know what I mean?
Hit the dependencies button, hover over any card and drag a connection to the next one. Now they're linked. Shift one and the other shifts as well. And those aren't the only views. There's calendar, what's happening when, which is good for deadlines and scheduled work. List is a stripped down table, just names and a field or two, good for when you want a clean reading view and nothing else. Gallery, a card grid for when your entities have images or you just want something more visual. Feed shows entities in a feed with a rich text field, which comes in handy when reviewing notes or feedback items. And map, which shows where things are. This one's niche, but pretty nifty.
Alright, it's cool, I like it, but it's gonna take me a minute to set those up, right?
You can skip that entirely for specific questions. Click Fibery AI, describe what you want, something like show me tasks by their status, group them by attraction, sort them by due date, and only show the ones that aren't done yet. Fibery AI builds the view for you. Very useful when you have a specific question you want answered, but don't want to set up a view manually. Has this ever happened to you? You spent an hour setting up a chart in Excel, and then the data changes and you have to do it all over again?
Fred, I have a folder full of those reports on my desktop right now. If you're telling me there's a better way to handle this, you're my savior.
Well, now you can make that folder a thing of the past. Reports is a mini BI tool built right into Fibery. It goes deep if you want it to, deep enough to deserve its own video. But it's there for you to try. But wait, there's more. If you try reports right now, we'll throw in this getting started video. Wait, how does that work? The reports come first, or the video comes first? Which one is the chicken and which one is the egg?
All right, these views are great, but I don't want to see everything everywhere all at once. How do I narrow it down?
With filters. They control what you see and they work the same way everywhere. Databases, views, doesn't matter. The interesting ones are worth knowing. The Me filter. Add it on the assignee field, save it as global, and anyone who opens that view only sees their own stuff. Same view, different results depending on who's looking. Pinned filters sit above your view so people can flip between states without touching the full filter panel. You decide if it's a switch or a dropdown. And filter groups let you combine them. High priority and assigned to me. High priority or overdue. With filters, you might need fewer views than you think. Set up a view and then let people filter it themselves. Now, there's two more things in the toolbar before we move on. Sort lets you order what you see by due date, priority, status, whatever makes sense. Stack multiple sorts and each one becomes a tiebreaker for the previous. Color lets you visually mark a field. Highlight rows or cards based on status, priority, any value you care about. Both sort and color are per view and they don't touch the underlying data.
All right, so I'm building views and more views and more views, and I feel like it's becoming a mess. At least at some point it will. So how do I deal with this?
That's where the sidebar comes in. But before we get into that, think about what you actually need. If you want to see all tasks across all attractions, make a table with hierarchy. If you want to focus on just one attraction, make a board and filter it to Timber Run, for example. Both are good. The problem comes when you want one board for each attraction. That's 9 boards. Keep adding attractions and you keep adding boards. And if you ever want to change something, do you need to go back in and edit each one manually?
9 attractions now, maybe 20 next year? That's a lot of boards to manage. I don't know.
That's what smart folders solve. A smart folder takes a database, like attractions, and adds each record as a row in the sidebar. Make one now and all your attractions are sitting there. Attach a view to it, say a board, set it up the way you want it, and then mirror it. Every attraction now has that same board. And here's the thing. The boards share the same setup, but the data on each one is different. Timber Run shows Timber Run tasks. Carousel shows carousel tasks. You didn't filter anything manually. Fibery knows which entity you're in and does it automatically.
Okay, but what if some of my attractions need a different setup entirely? Like my Ferris wheel is a different thing from a hot dog stand. They need different things.
Then don't mirror. Go into that specific attraction, create a view, set it up exactly the way that attraction needs it. It only lives there. Everything else stays untouched. Now, one more thing about organizing the sidebar. Not everything needs to be a space. A simple rule to follow is spaces are for things that don't end. CRM doesn't end. Sales doesn't end. Support doesn't end. Projects end. Campaigns close. Customers come and go. Those belong as records inside a database, not as spaces. Ask yourself, will I archive this at some point? If the answer is yes, it's a record, not a space. However, Fibery is what you make it.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
So if you really want your projects or customers in the sidebar, you can use smart folders like we did earlier. There's no need to set up a space for them. Now, when you finish setting up your space, how does everyone know what's in there and how it works?
Ask me, I guess.
How about this? You can use a document. It's rich text, it lives in the sidebar. It's best used as a README for a space, a short doc that explains what's in there and how things work. For other use cases, store your docs as entities in a database so they're connected to statuses, people, projects, etc. Whiteboards. It's a visual canvas. You know it. What makes Fibery's version different is that you can drop actual live entities on it. Not a picture of a task, the task itself, still connected to all your other data. Dashboard. This pulls views, charts, and docs into one screen. You can use it as a home page for a space, something you open and immediately know what's going on. Then there's Forms, which lets people outside your workspace fill in fields via a public URL. Good for requests, surveys, anything where you need input from someone who isn't in Fibery. Actually, how are you planning to start your day in Fibery? Like when you first open it in the morning?
Same way I start every day. Open it, stare at it, grab a coffee, stare at it again, take a walk, do some yoga. I should really start another DIY project, carpentry. I have no idea what the popular hobby is. My point is, Fred, I don't know. I don't know what I want.
All right, well, let me show you a better way. Home. It sits at the top of the sidebar and pulls everything assigned to you into one screen, regardless of where it lives across your whole workspace. My work, recent items, all in one place. No hunting through spaces to find your stuff. Also, check out Search. Using the shortcut Command-K or Control-K, it works by keyword and semantically. You don't need the exact name of the thing you're looking for. Once your workspace grows, you'll use this more than anything. Another tip in Search is that if you can't find what you're looking for, you can create it immediately from Search. And wherever you are in your workspace, you can always create a new entity with a button on the sidebar or by hitting C. Finally, there's the Personal tab. Favorites for shortcuts to things you open constantly. And the private space for anything you're not ready to share yet. Build these into muscle memory before anything else.
Okay, got it. Views, filters, smart folders, and I'm forgetting the rest already, but it's a lot.
It sounds like a lot, but you won't use it all on day one. Start with a table and a board. Add some filters when things get noisy, smart folders when your sidebar gets out of hand. The rest, you'll reach for them naturally when you need them. And for now, you can sit back and enjoy the views.